Every day we walk outside or post a photo of ourselves on social media, we expose our physical appearance to judgment. We are vulnerable, and it's our responsibility to ensure we don't let negative perceptions affect our perception of self. But what if you suffered from racial imposter syndrome? Now, you see this? All members of society are expected to fit into a box. This is one way society like to identify us. Now, another example is the recent 2021 census that we all completed. Now, I don't know about you, but because of my biracial heritage, I struggled to figure out which box to tick in the ethnicity section. Because technically, I cover more than one box. But according to Noor Katali, the classification of biracial people as Black is tied to the legacy of racist US laws that relied on the so-called one-drop rule, which dictated that even a tiny amount of Black ancestry meant a person was considered Black. The rule, which scientists called hyperdescent, was legal in the US for centuries. The principle of trying to fit within societal boundaries has always been challenged. But this is something biracial and multiracial people continue to struggle with, which can lead to the feeling of racial imposter syndrome. Arden Yum, founder of the Peace Project, refers it to the feeling where your internal sense of self doesn't match with others' perception of your racial identity. Now, you might think, who cares? Why would you listen to other people's opinions of your own racial and ethnic background? It seems illogical when you lay it out on the table, right? But Dr. Sarah Gaither, whose research includes the complexity of social identity, explained that being told you don't fit into your own racial groups creates an imposter feeling, where you may feel the need to prove your heritage to create a sense of authenticity. Where this regularly fails, it can lead to feeling like a fraud within your own culture. Although this does not affect every multiracial and biracial person, comments such as "stop acting Black" or "which side do you prefer?" or the one that gets me is "you're not Black enough to be affected by racial oppression," can lead to serious mental health issues and feelings of exclusion and lack of belonging. This can affect how you make friendships, relationships, how you raise your multiracial children, and even in your career. In Vancouver, in Canada, a visual arts exhibition called Dirty Knees explored mixed race identities and primarily featured half Asian artists such as Katie So and Shannon Elliott. The show's title played on the racist playground rhyme, Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees, look at these. And the work focuses on the complexities of internalized racism. The aim was to curate work which created a sense of community and prompt conversations about issues regarding racial identities. Despite this being a creative and cultural device to address these issues, I believe there need to be more exhibitions in the UK covering how racial imposter syndrome affects the work of artists and their perception of art. So, what does this all mean? Is it offensive to ask biracial people where they're from? No, of course not. That's how you learn. But is it up to biracial people to educate you? No. Is it their responsibility? No. Is it offensive to question someone who doesn't appear to align with their racial stereotype? Yes. But is internal racism towards biracial people within your culture because of their mixed privilege acceptable? No, it's not. The bottom line is, Racial imposter syndrome is developed through the external perceptions of others being internalized. So I encourage you to be open, to learn and listen. And to my multiracial people, be honest and genuine when someone asks, where are you from?